أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Good old reality here is a pretty cool town. It's, you know, it's more predominantly Spanish, but, you know, everybody here seems to get along really good.
I am a patient killer. Yeah, they say real mean deal sealer. I wait till the time is right, 'cause the ripest fruit give the sweetest bite, and
You know, it suits me just fine because it still has a little taste of the West here, because you never know when a shootout's going to take place or something's going to happen here with the gang members or...
So beautiful, so dumb. Man, they never see me come, and I cut them down. I cut them down. Oh, oh, oh. Cut them down. Oh, I cut them down.
We haven't had any good major shootouts in a while, so... And, I don't know, I kind of like them myself. Kind of like shakes up the atmosphere, you know, puts a little excitement in life there, you know, so...
Arrested. The American arrested in Pakistan who claimed he was hunting for Osama Bin Laden.
Found alone in a forest in northern Pakistan.
That's correct. I don't think Gary's insane at all. Unorthodox, yes, and I've said this before, but he has a passion and a mission. Just go to 2.5. History is full of one man who has done great things that have changed the course of history. Read your history books. Let's face it, we don't have a lot of heroes. Look at your television. Who do we have now? A bunch of wimps. I mean, gone are the John Waynes and the Clint Eastwoods. Real men.
How many times have you launched this mission to go to Pakistan to find Osama Bin Laden?
Oh, I mean, they have the airlines and stuff going to 7 times, but I also tried a couple times on a boat. Son of a Bin Laden, man, keys. We'll get the rest of the tile in the kitchen out of there, and I'll put her go down the floor, and then we'll go from there. Oh, good man, they don't work for nothing anyway, so it's alright. Nah, they don't judge me at all. Let's see here, the key for Ahmed.
I met him when he was working at a next door neighbor's house remodeling. And then he ended up remodeling over at my house too. So.
What did you think of him when you first saw him?
Before I met him?
Yeah.
I thought he was very good looking. And I could tell he was hardworking, on the go, on the ball type of person, just by observing him from the neighbors. I mean, even if he wasn't doing any of this, I think he's a very exciting person. Besides any of this Pakistan stuff, yeah, I just his personality. I mean, I think everybody would loves to be around Gary when they first meet him. Why not? He draws attention to himself.
Benny boy. I got no respect for him, so I call him Benny boy, you know, or homeboy. You know, if you say it like homeboy, it's like asshole, you know, Benny boy, like prick, you know, or son of a Bin Laden. They put out a pretty good little menu and stuff, decent food and a decent price, and good crowd that comes here, so let's go in and see this thing. Cash is fine. Cash your check, something like that. Yeah, well, I need it to keep moving forward, so, but we'll get her done though. So, alrighty, guys, enjoy your meal, and we'll talk to you later. Around town and everything else, the people have been very cool. Once in a while, I get a honk and a wave, or someone wants a picture, or autograph, things, or wherever I go, and that's cool. I don't mind that, but I'm not gonna sit there doing autographs and all kinds of stuff. I got more important things to do. It's really not me. That's why now I only autograph the GQ magazine. That's it, because you know they did a good write-up on it, and it opened a lot of questions and stuff for people. Showed different sides of me also. I've had a mean streak when I was younger, and yeah, all right, okay. All right, guys, let's go on in here and stuff. All right, dog, be right there. After you, sir.
Works. Do you remember you, me, and Bob were on that irrigation ditch, and we had built that pipe bomb, and we had run that powder fuse, and we lit it, and you and Bob jumped into the irrigation ditch, and I jumped behind a tree. And I've never seen such a delayed reaction for a fuse. That thing had to have gone like at least, what, 30, 40 seconds? And I'm waiting and waiting, we're all waiting, and I thought, I was just about going, okay, it's a dud, it's not going to go off. And just at that moment, as I was about to step up from out behind this big old oak tree, this shrapnel comes ripping across that pipe bomb, boy, I tell you what, it worked well. Yeah, we used to make all kinds of good bombs, man. We had a great time, I'll tell you what.
Well, when we were kids, I always knew there was something different about Gary, because I had that little piece in my brain that said, what we're about to do here, because I used to have to hang out with Gary and Todd. Mom and Dad would say, Gary and Todd, watch your little brother. Do we really have to? Yes, you do. So I would tag along. I was the third wheel. So Gary would get up with these brilliant ideas. He would do things that my brain would told me that, you know what, we probably shouldn't be here, but he didn't have a problem.
How about this one? The money was at the bottom of the carnival ride. And I kept spinning it. Remember, you were trying to get that money at the bottom? And you're telling me, stop! And I'm like, no way.
No way. Everyone's losing all their money, so it's at the bottom of this little ride here. I'm trying to pick it up. He keeps spinning this stupid thing.
It stopped. It's one of them rides that goes over big ones, and it stopped kind of at an angle with a downward slope to it. And Gary goes, hold on, man, I'm going to get this money at the bottom. So as he gets at the bottom of the ride, I keep spinning it so he keeps piling to the bottom. Keeps piling to it.
So, all right.
Don't take my love away from you. Don't take my love away from you. Cast your stones, feed the fire with my bones, but don't take my...
Yes, this is definitely one of history's greatest fugitive stories. Never have you had so many resources by such a powerful country focused on apprehending one man, and yet he managed to evade capture for as long as he did.
There's an old poster out west, as I recall, that said, wanted, dead or alive.
Overall, if there's one thing that the last 10 years have shown, it's that getting one guy, particularly when he practices good operational security, and when he's in a remote location surrounded by people who are loyal to him, it's a very difficult thing to do.
We have all these people and everyone else out there. We have our nation has been, we could say, I would say disgraced. Because, you know, hey, we weren't there in time to do what we needed to do, or the proper things weren't in place. But I'm thinking, you know what? I think there's more to this than anything else. They're trying to keep this war going because it's big bucks for the big dogs up on top. So when they sit there and another $1 trillion, another trillion here, billion, whatever, and stuff like that, I'm thinking, you know, I just knew in my heart this would never be resolved by government, and that he just pissed me off with what he said.
The area where he went to look for Bin Laden is a folk hero. So I don't know with what Christian, what American countryside mindset took him there. I mean, the Christian mindset in the United States is as crazy as the Muslim mindset that come from those areas. They are equally crazy.
I think it's fair to say she has worked on this project since the day, nearly 9 years ago, when Daniel Pearl left her house in Karachi to go to an interview that never happened.
Daniel Pearl went exactly for that reason, to know how Pakistan was involved, how Pakistan is linked with Al-Qaeda. This was the main thrust of Daniel Pearl's story. And we saw that he was a very influential journalist. He was with the Wall Street Journal, and we could see what happened to him. So for Mr. Gary Faulkner to go in that area without any expertise, without any skills, to say that he's there to hunt for Bin Laden, you see, this is incredible.
And so my edge here hasn't been worked yet. Now the point is very good on it, but I haven't been able to feel the balance. It has a good swinging motion like this, and it has a good inward motion. It's like the pig sticker also, because you're protected, but it'll stop you if you hit bone or something hard. And then when you're pulling back, you still have your grip here. Really, to tell you what, the best move is the one that you get on the other person first with. So, I mean, it could be anything really, just whatever the application is at the time. One of the favorite moves is, on a silent move, is to come in behind, hand on mouth, either throat or kids. You do the kids, you got to hang on to them for a little bit. The throat, they just gurgle. And so, you know, the best one is when they don't see you. But if they do see you, you just got to take care of business before they take care of you, you know. So that's the way that is, like that. So. This is good practicing right through here because it's similar, but the real practice is when you don't do the trail, but the rocks and moving in the brush and things to be able to pounce on your prey or creep, just like a hunter.
So Gary is an adventurer in that vein. If he had been born in the Old West, he would have been a guide that would take you across the country. You can tell Gary, you need to play nice in the sandbox, you can't be an adventurer, but you know what, it's going to come out. You can't tame a spirit.
To the top of the pile go you fight and you climb. Yeah, you die just to find only more dogs, only more dogs. To the top of the pile go you bite and you climb. Yeah, you die just to find only more dogs, only more dogs.
I got there early in the morning. It was just really early in the morning. I knew nothing about Pakistan. Matter of fact, until someone showed me it on the globe, I didn't know anything. But I just had in my heart that's the place to go. On the passport, it tells you on my visa areas not to go. Well, I knew right away. If you tell me not to go there, I got to go there. I'm a thief. Don't tell me not to do something because I'm going to do it. So that's what I did. The only thing that gave me away is my English, because I don't speak Urdu. But if I just kept my mouth shut and just acted like just some badass Taliban or whatever, I just wave them on like this whenever someone came up to me to talk or something. Just wave them on, and they would leave me up. Just like hunting up here, the same thing. That's what we call a Rocky Mountain walkabout. You walk about until you find what you're looking for, but if you're in camos, if you're hunting turkey, elk, deer, whatever, you know, you're dressed up. Same there. And then what I would do is find a good a pine tree and stuff that's hanging real low, and I would actually get underneath that and set up my little camp and stuff there, and then you know, camouflage it. So anyone walks by, they don't notice anything, they don't see me, they don't know nothing.
Other than the spectacles that he was wearing, his spectacles was out of place. With his spectacles, you could immediately know that he's not from that area. People in that area don't wear that kind of rims, glass rims that he had. But other than that, you see, he could blend in very easily. Caucasians can blend in very easily in the area he went to. They are fair-skinned, they are light-colored, and if he doesn't talk, he is in the traditional, like this dress I'm wearing, the traditional baggy trousers and shirt. So in that one called shalwar kameez, in that one he can, you see, travel very easily.
You have to be real careful, and that's why I have my night scope. The Nighthawk, it worked great. You know, I just look a little bit and move. I'm just not marching, trudging through the forest like some clodhopper or some yahoo. I mean, I'm a very avid hunter too. So, I mean, all my skills that I've had in my life have played here. The people are very, very friendly and open when they get to see that you're a legitimate person and not a arrogant, pompous ass, typical idiot who thinks he knows everything from an industrial nation. They open arms. They want you to meet their families. They want you to come have dinner with them. They want you to go places with them, stay in their house and stuff. Really cool. We could use some lessons from these people because we're a very closed society here, and that's sad.
In my weakest hour, I have cried like a child. I have begged, I have pled for refuge from the wild. I have promised return in the order of kings. I have spoken of the future like I know what it
Well, this last time when I was there, when everything went down, came to a head, I was at the PDDC in Pakistan getting some lunch, and it's also a little hotel and stuff. And it was about 60 to 70 Al-Qaeda came in there. And then that's when they saw me. And when they saw me sitting back over there, everyone pulls out their cameras, their phones, and I mean, anything to record me sitting there. And then they had another powwow and they left. So my friend came up to me and goes, well, I got some kind of bad news and some really bad news. The bad news is we're not allowed to go up to high country because they are, you know, they own all the high country and they're buried in up there. Okay, cool. But the really bad news is that they know who you are and they're going to come and kill you tonight. They're coming for you. And we don't know what to do. I told them, well, that's all right. I know what to do. And so what ended up happening was I waited till nightfall. I got dressed up in all my garb and strapped on my sword, my blade. My pistol was in my pack, and took out my night owl scope, and then I took off past my guard into the night. Well, he's an old dude. He couldn't catch me anyway. But then military was called out. The police were called out. And everyone is down on the lower area looking for me, which would be the south side of the road in the valley. And on the north side, the Al-Qaeda was coming through a ravine coming down when I'm coming up over this way. And what gave their spot away was these dogs. So I was able to avoid them until I was able to get a fix on them. Then I could use my scope. The military and the police, they were easy to find because they were with flashlights and stuff. But I ran them all night. I ran everybody all night. That would include the people, the residents there and everything, until early in the morning. With the kidneys not functioning, your blood doesn't process back right. And with the adrenaline, the endorphins, the excitement, I ran out of juice, so I had to park it. And then I flagged up some two of the police guys that came up to me, and they helped me out of there. And then we got out of the valley, and so we got out of there real fast, as a matter of fact.
Think about it. When people say that Gary's ignorant, how many people do you know of can go to Pakistan in the Chitral region 7 times into Al-Qaeda's backyard and come out alive? How many people do you know that can do that? A handful, maybe. CIA operatives, maybe. Special ops, maybe. So the intelligence of Gary is maybe because he doesn't speak as eloquently as some people do. Maybe he's not a genius in mathematics, but that doesn't mean he's not a genius at being streetwise. And I think he is.
A friend of mine called me at 6 in the morning, said, "Turn on the news, Jennifer. Isn't your friend's name Gary Faulkner?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "He's on the news." I go, "Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna go turn on the news." So it was a while before I got it on the news, and I saw little flashes here and there, because every time that I would go to see it, I would only change the channel. I would just be getting a tail end piece of it. So I was, how did I feel? I was shaken but relieved, because I had just spoke to him days prior. Didn't think he would probably survive this trip from the beginning that he... Just all the stories that Gary tells, and the incidences that he's been through that are just bone-chilling, and it just gives you the goosebumps all over. You know, it even brings you to tears sometimes, listening to him tell different stories and incidences that have happened to him. It just, sometimes. You know, there's got to be something to this, or, you know, if there isn't, then, you know, then I feel bad. I'd feel bad for him that if it's not, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful for him.
You got a folding table right here.
Oh, that's cool.
All right.
I gotta tie my shoes and stuff.
Rambo, this is Paul.
How you doing, Paul?
This is Rambo. He has a syndicated blog
I'm
radio
a blog
program.
talk radio show host, one of the top conservative show hosts on the world's largest computer radio network, blogtalkradio.com. I did a show on Americans that get up off their couch and go out and do something crazy, and Gary Faulkner was #1 on my list.
What inspires your show?
My hate for Washington, D.C. I think those guys up there are a bunch of asshats, and they need to be kicked out of office. We need to elect new people, fresh people, younger people, people that haven't been in office for 20 years, like John McCain, for instance. So what I've been doing for the last 6 hours is I have a mailing list of about 500 people, and I'm trying to get these 500 people to ring all their senators' phones off the hook. The bailouts. The government swoops in, spends trillions of dollars to lift these countries, these companies out of the quagmire that they were in. And that's not capitalism. That's not what this country was built on. Mm-hmm. It's not capitalism at all. It's socialism. I'm just not all for that. I would rather be poor and free than rich and under somebody's thumb.
Do you see any reason to be hopeful right now?
Absolutely. I still got my guns. Yeah. Until they take the Second Amendment right, they cannot take America's freedom, and that's the truth. I mean, they can slowly take it away like they've been doing for years, but the ultimate sign that we've lost our freedom is when they take our guns.
These two right here are your slugs, hollow point, 12 gauge. These two are BB, and this one's birdshot, just in case I want to pepper someone's ass with it. But these ones are for getting serious here. And so, yeah, This thing, I've done a lot of hunting with this Owen, but just in case we got to do some serious hunting on someone coming trying to hunt me, I'm ready to go.
He sends his pennies to heaven.
Her crew has ripped off every tool that we've had out in the shed. She's been living here. She's been having all these massive drug parties and parties with these lowlifes. And she makes it bad for everybody around here. And so, you know, she's gone. Oh, yeah.
Never enough is never enough. No matter how much is never enough.
Oh, what do I care? All right, yeah.
He gives his nickels to Jesus through the guidance of the TV set.
What's your name, sir? I'm Gary Faulkner. My brother owns it.
He believes he looks down and sees us, even though sometimes he forgets. But it's never enough is never enough. No matter how much, it's never enough. No, never enough is never enough. No matter how much, it's never enough. He sends his dimes to his mother in a method so that she doesn't know.
That's good. All right. Ooh, that was everything. Didn't matter. Welder, mechanic, carpenter, construction. Pretty much anything I wanted to be, I was. Unless it was dull and boring, like sitting behind a desk or computers and typewriters and things like that. But get me out to destroy something, build something, or whatever. But everything. And but my biggest career up until this point was a thief, though. That's the biggest career. It was just the excitement, the adrenaline rush. It was just to be able to do something that you shouldn't do or you shouldn't be able to do, like break into a safe, go past securities, to get into a facility, boost a car, boost a dump truck, forklift, boat, whatever, you know what I mean? Just whatever came up at the time. It wasn't personal and it wasn't in malice. It was just the curiosity of the cat. That's it, the curiosity of the cat. And so this cat had a lot of curiosity, and I still do. So, but a little bit more refined. I take it out of the country. Yeah. I look back on my life, and everything I've gone through has prepared me for this time. One, not to be afraid. Two, to know how to be able to go in and go past securities. Three, how to be able to be stealthy. You know, because it's not about going in and shooting up stuff and blowing stuff up. It's the challenge of going in and coming back out with the goods. And that's what we're looking at here, is the goods.
Ghost Palo, take your privileges. You build more prisons than you build bridges. Entertainment or religion, I don't know which, but it only keeps the poor from killing the rich. Cream rise to the top, survival of the fittest. Way too late now for me to try to quit this. It's a will to eat, a will to have enough, to be in a position where I'm strong enough to love.
I come from south of that area, from Balochistan, and my gut feeling is that the guy, Gary Faulkner, was there as much for Bin Laden as much he was there for good hashish. That area is known for producing very good hashish. And the reason why he could reach there with so much ease is, you see, that their people, local population there are used to foreigners coming there, Westerners, since the hippie days. when they used to go there to find good hashish. And that is the reason they must not have even, you see, thought of him as an enemy person.
Shortly after the U.S. experienced its economic collapse in 2008, Bin Laden's top lieutenant, Ayman al-Zawahiri, ended up taking to the airwaves and proclaiming al-Qaeda as the party responsible for the U.S.'s economic collapse. And though that's an exaggeration, the fact is that the draining wars in Afghanistan, in Iraq, the threat of terrorism, the security costs that were attendant with it, all of these have had a substantial impact that is draining the U.S.'s economy. That's why they've put forward a number of names for this strategy, from the bleed until bankruptcy strategy to, more currently, the death by 1,000 cuts strategy. The war in Iraq is one example, which opened up a new battlefront, and the occupation that followed ended up being incredibly costly, hurting the U.S.'s reputation and allowing al-Qaeda to gain a safe haven where it previously did not have any sort of substantial presence. It also can be ascribed to the large amount of resources inefficiently that were spent on security following 9/11, the very inefficient airport security, and other ways that were designed to make the country safer without doing it in the most efficient means possible.
He was described as the Rocky Mountain Rambo, and I think that was an appropriate description of him. And we have in America a lot of Rambos. He is just the Rocky Mountain Rambo. We had the Texas Rambo, which was President Bush. So we have lots of Rambos in the United States. This job would have been done, I believe, this job would have been accomplished had the United States not spent more than $1 trillion foolishly by the Texan Rambo, Mr. Bush.
We have to separate the American people and the government. The American people are the finest in the world, not because we're superior to anybody else, but because of our beliefs and our foundations from the Founding Fathers. America will always stand up for what is right. I truly believe that. Our politicians, on the other hand, are politicians. Most of them are lawyers, and they want to do a CYA. So when they have policies that don't allow our military, and I was in the military, to do their job, it is disheartening, it's disgusting, it repulses me and most good Americans. It's a slap in our face.
I have waited for this day, for now this day has passed, like I knew it was not promised, but I knew it would not last.
What we got?
I wasn't watching that, I was flipping through channels. That's
what you were watching. Hey, it's your story. I'll bet she was on the floor practicing too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Olympic star.
My leg.
That's a Renaissance dream of 9/11, the killing of Osama Bin Laden. That's what it's called. Pretty powerful painting, actually, especially since I understand it. So it's just like, wow. That painting tells me a lot of things because I had questions, like the banner on his arm. I knew I had to have a banner there, but I didn't know what color it was or what it was like. It's red, and so, you know, and I've got that here, so that's fine. And then also, like, see how he's being killed right there. You know, how's that going down? So evidently there's a good fight right there at the bottom, because the holding pins would be up to the top right. And then, you know, having everyone charge into the battle, and, you know, it's going to be quite the scene. That looks too exciting. I mean, that stuff that history's made of, fairy tales are made of and stuff, but actually to be there and know that you're going to be living the dream, I'm telling you what, I mean, it gets my blood pumping right now. I mean, there's no feeling way to express my feelings on how I feel about going back and getting this taken care of. So I'm just glad that my Lord chose me. So.
Outlaws been around since the beginning of ruling times.
Good evening.
We killed them! They had a different picture of God's will.
We did for the firefighters, the policemen, who lost their lives, the women and children.
They held up by folktales, turned evil by modern press. For the most part, the truth they did confess.
The United States has conducted
we
an
all know
operation
that
to
their
kill
shackle
Osama Bin
life's
Laden,
not the
leader of
way
Al-Qaeda.
to be. And where have they gone today? At 16 years old, he saw the blood flow from his hand. An outlaw has no fear of death. You couldn't catch him if you tried. And God, why did you grant him what no one ever wanted? And only a fool would ever plan. A lawman shot at dark, set off an awakening spark. Soon became a blazing fire from Missouri to both seas.
I don't know. He just turned out to be kind of crazy and wild, and always, but he always had these feelings that there was something that he was destined for ever since he was very, very young. So I think now it gives him peace now to think the way he thinks and believe what he believes, instead of always having to wonder when he was young what were all these strange feelings and forces that were driving him when he was younger. He didn't quite understand.
I think that's part of what motivates Gary, is so that people will see that he has turned into a godly man, a good man. But he's not breaking laws now. For the last 15 years, Gary's towed the line. He's done what society has really asked him to do.
I used to hang around, and still now, when I was younger, the older guys. And the one thing that always resounded from almost all of them was the regret. What would have it been like if I would have done this? Or, you know, instead I stayed here, I got this job, I've been busting on, I'm gonna be retired, the old lady's ragging on me, or something's happening or whatever. they always said the same thing. I wonder what would my life been like. And they always tell me there was a path at one time, and they chose the easy one. I chose a very hard path, to tell you the truth, because it was very hard to break away and to get to this point right here, just because the way I felt about certain peoples and things. But you gotta go with your heart, you know. Don't go with your mind, you gotta go with your heart. If you go with your mind, you're screwed. You go with your heart, it's pure and moves forward. And so,
don't wanna go out, work on the car. Just wanna sit in my old guitar. Don't wanna collect bugs in little glass jars. Just wanna sit and play my old guitar.
So I got a new little baby. I saw this thing that Al Qaeda put out a big report and stuff like that, whether it's true or not, I don't know, and stuff, you know, so it just sounded funky and stuff, you know. There wasn't anything to it like the Swat Valley when he made a reference to Swat Valley and everything else.
Need to know every minute where you are. Just wanna sit and play my old
weird, but you know, she was unjust in what she was doing. Come on in, dog. B. Supposed to do
just
deadbolt.
The deadbolt.
No. The deadbolt and the handle.
Yeah.
Over there.
He took the deadbolt. He thought you wanted the deadbolts brought to you. I was like, why would he want the
deadbolt? Alright, man, here. I'll show some love. You did a good job and stuff, so it was cool to run it.
I'm tired.
The little Budweiser's up there, buddies.
Tired.
Good.
What's the state of your kidneys?
Total failure. They're total renal failure. I have to have dialysis 3 times a week. I have to do it 4.5 hours a day on each of those days early. But today was a little different one. You know, the emotions have been very high and very intensified with the things that have been happening here in reality, as well as also around the world and stuff. And so today, the cork on the pressure cooker popped, and the girls got my wrath. You know what? The biggest thing I found out about myself is I'm not shit. I'm nothing. I am just the bottom of the pole out there. And the reason why is I didn't do this myself. This isn't about Gary. This is about my God. This is what my God did for me. He opened all the doors. He led me everywhere I needed to go, and he protected me. I know a lot of people find that hard, but you know what? This is the stuff that God puts in the Bible. This is the stuff God puts out there to glorify himself. And that's all it's about, is to glorify him. This guy said that his God is Allah and he would take care of him and his prophet. Well, according to our books, hey, Benny boy, guess what? Your Allah and your prophet, 0. My God says parole denied. Yeah. Well, I guess we could put it into this chapter right here, folks. Until the next time, I'm going to get on down the road to the next adventure, and we'll see you then. Thanks a lot.
Tired of living unprepared and unexpected. Tired of always feeling lost and neglected. Tired of not knowing what to do or what to say, even though your life doesn't change one bit day to day. Despite the fact that every minute feels filled up, trying to keep the level in your half-empty cup. It pains us all to watch you work so hard to save your pride, not willing to admit that you're dissatisfied. The solutions are alright there at your fingertips. Open up the book and let the words pass your lips. Well, follow us, we'll tell you what was meant by what was said. But first we'd like to thank you for being so easily led. Come be different like us. Come be different like us. Leave behind your hard decisions. We'll provide you goals and visions if you come be different like us. You know, I don't want to join up with no revolution, 'cause by the time I do, it's usually done. Everybody got to kill somebody. I missed out on all the fun. I can't seem to find any peace in religion, 'cause I don't believe in that kind of free will. See, once you join up, they take everything and then they send you the bill. That's what they say right here. They say, come be different like us. Come be different like us. Money, food, and matching suits for all deserving new recruits. If you come be different like us. Can't get down with no drug addiction. I know because I've tried it all before. Tried hard too. And every president wins the next election with the big crusade against being poor. So when they ask you how I finally died, tell them, well, he asked too many questions. When I had to swallow all that ugly truth, you know, I just up and died of indigestion.
Say, yeah, you're poor, you know, but you know what, that's true, but I'm happy, you know, we've got this apartment here, a small car, you know, I mean, it'd be nice to have a cat or a dog in here, but it's just too small for that kind of stuff, and plus, we're always coming and going, so we can't have that.
Come be different.
Okay.
Yeah, leave
for old and I, for me. Anyhow, hey, I do my medical marijuana. What, you know, what do you want me to say? You know, that's what keeps my blood pressure and my attitude at the right altitude. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. You know, I mean, all the other medications are too harsh on me. You know, I mean, my high blood pressure medicine's only 2 grams. You know, and that's borderline. So I'm very unchemical tolerant, but natural I'm okay with.